Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Citizen Snips. Thank you so much for joining me. And today we're playing Heavensward. And first I wanted to thank Kenshin Jr. for providing me the video of the flights around the new areas in Heavensward. So anyway, thanks man. So let me just talk a little bit about this game. Actually, I've got a while to talk about it, because there's so much to cover. So I have to use another friend's video of him flying around because I haven't unlocked all the areas yet because it takes so long to get through all the areas. So that's how big these maps are. These maps are freaking huge and they are absolutely gorgeous. So as far as maps are concerned, they're awesome in this game, and Final Fantasy has always had and like aesthetic to it that I can't really describe, but they've always been so spot on with like environments and music and all that sort of stuff. I didn't want to put I did want to put the music in here, but I didn't want to get copyrighted strike on me by Square Enix or something like that, so I didn't put it on there. But yeah, the music is great and the areas are just gorgeous, and there are, I want to say 8 new locations or something like that. I'll try to talk slow because I don't want to talk too fast in this video, but there's the Foundation, which the Foundation and the Pillars are like these 2 central location cities for you to do a lot of different quests and stuff, and a lot of story driven things. And the Sea of Clouds, and I'm trying not to brutalize these words, but Ares Lie, Idleshire, there's the Derivian Forelands and the Derivian Hinterlands, and the Churning Mist, and I might be missing something, but I think that's it. But yeah, there's a bunch of areas and it's really sweet. But there's also so much more to this expansion that I haven't got to yet, and probably the biggest thing that you were probably anticipating in this video was the jobs. And so now there's 3 jobs. There is the Dark Knight, which is a tank, and the Astrologian, which is a healer that uses like cards, and then a Machinist, which is like a gunner DPS. And before you get too excited, none of these classes are OP. In fact, they're kind of nerfed. Like, they were nerfed from the get-go, and I think they've gotten some buffs and stuff from now on, but like a lot of people were frustrated because they thought that by creating these classes or getting these new classes that they would just be OP right in the beginning, which is not really the case. And Dark Knight is actually kind of squishy. And so that's what I am, and you'll see at the end of the video of me playing tanking for the first time. I literally picked the hardest tank class from the get-go, but I wanted to try it. So, but yeah, Dark Knight uses like just a bunch of different awesome looking skills, and I'm not gonna be one of those people that gets in here and talks about the best rotation or DPS checks and talk about all these different stats and stuff. I'm not one of those types of people, so I mean you can get far greater content from somebody else on YouTube about all that sort of stuff. And then the Astrologian, and which I haven't played Astrologian or Machinist just because it takes so long to play these classes. Like, to get to 50 is easy, but passing 50 and going on to 60 is just a grind. And that's another big thing about this expansion, that if I have to give a gripe, is the grind is pretty hard. You can't get to a new area until you've beaten the story missions for that area and then to move on. To where previously you could just kind of roam until you find a new area, which is my big thing. I would just like go straight, like I'd hop on my chocobo and my fat chocobo and just go straight until I got to a new area. And so in order to fly in this game, you need to get currents, and there are 10 currents per level plus 4 from story missions and side quests, so like 14 in all per location, I think, and there's some exception to that. But that's kind of fun. They give you a little compass thing, and you like kind of find how many yalms or yards you are from the next feather. And then when you learn to fly, it is pretty awesome. Now you can only fly in that particular zone once you find those currents, so it kind of sucks that you have to do it all over again. But yeah, so flying is awesome, and I think they should have had it a long time ago, but Square Enix, they want to just like milk your money. So there's new jobs, there's a new race, the Aru class, or Ara, I don't know, and you're like a dragon person. So you're like a dragon girl or a dragon guy. And the dragon guy is like 10 freaking feet tall. And the dragon girl is like 4 foot nothing. So I usually go with short characters. I didn't want to be midget, but yeah, so, and there's also, oh God, there's so much more to talk about if I have enough time. There's new dungeons as well, and so I believe there are 8 of them or something like that. And so I have gameplay of one of them. I couldn't squeeze in everything I wanted to, and I also left out not an extreme, but a primal fight that I meant to put on here. But there's the Dusk Vigil, and sorry if I screw these words up, but Solm Eye, the Airy, there's the Vault, the Great Gubal Library, the Aether Chemical Research Facility, Netherreap, and the Fractal Continuum. And that's just what's out right now. That doesn't mean that there isn't going to be a lot more. And there's also, I believe, there is a new raid that's out. It just came out like after the expansion launched, and it's called Alexander. And I think it's kind of like the Bahamut, where like the turns, the coils. If you haven't played this game, then you won't know what the hell I'm talking about. What was he talking about? And basically, they're just like these super elite, hardest stuff in the game to do. And the Alexander one, you have to be like max item level, like 180 or whatever it is, like item, maxed out character, and you get awesome stuff. And so that's brand new, and that's came out, and I'm sure they're gonna increase the coils or the turns, and there's gonna be more stuff to do on that. God, there's so much other stuff. I'm sure there'll be a new raid at some point, like a 24-man raid, I'm sure, and also when you do the exclusive content or whatever, the Elite Edition, or I'm thinking like Call of Duty, the whatever edition it is, you get a flying griffin mount, which you're seeing on the screen now. And then you also get another flying mount that's like a little airship. It's pretty cool. And then you get a black chocobo that can fly in the early parts of the game, which is awesome. And like a dragon, like a fucking dragon, like something out of, what's that show called? Anyway, it doesn't matter. But so there's all that. There's like new beast tribe stuff. Of course, now that you're 60, you get to do everything else to 60. So all your crafting stuff, which if you're going to do crafting in this game, like you either got to go balls to the wall or just don't do it at all, because it is going to eat up your inventory, and it is going to eat your money and your time. So if you want to craft and make $1 bajillion in this game, go for it. But don't do it half-assed, because you're going to spend a lot of damn money. So just FYI. Also, there is a new casino as well. And that you'll see pretty soon, towards the end of the video, I believe. But the casino is definitely one of the coolest things about the game, because it's just one of those super addictive things. Now, the next part of this video you're going to see is me tanking this boss in the Dusk Vigil, or whatever it's called, and it's this griffin that we had been following the whole time in the story, the story part of the dungeon or whatever. And I had this guy on my team that was like making fun of me because I picked the like wrong class, quote unquote, to play for a tank, and like I didn't know what I was doing. And then I like accidentally limit braked and then like I died at the very end, but we killed it on our first try, so I don't know what his deal is. Like, bro, do you even lift? But yeah, it's really fun. Like the Dark Knight, you have to keep up this like dark art skill that you have, and it like drains your MP, but it makes you stronger. And then you can do like an AoE attack that does a bunch of damage, and then you have another like AoE hate spell, and you can do cross-class stuff with other classes. And but it's pretty difficult though, because it's just you eat your MP, and there's recharge stuff as well. But I find myself really squishy because like I die rather quickly, or I feel like I'm constantly on the edge of dying. Now, the Astrologian class, I don't know a whole lot about. I hear they're a fair healer. I don't know, what they're weak in. I don't think they're really weak in anything, but they're not really good in anything. Where Scholar is sort of like a great micromanager, and then White Mages are really good healers, like really good big heals. But they keep adjusting all these classes. And the machinist was, oh my god, the machinist needed work. It like had a lot of attacks in the beginning and then like nothing at the end. Oh, and so now we're in the casino, and I had heard my friends talking about the casino, and I didn't know what they were talking about. And I used to play a game called Phantasy Star Universe, and if any of you know what that game is or have ever played it, I love you dearly. But they had a casino in there with like roulette tables and like what's it called? Anyway, they had a bunch of different games in there, and I loved it. But now they have this game that where you can play like a lotto ticket, and you randomly generate numbers, or you pick them yourself, and you earn what's called MGP, and it's like the in-house cash. And if you win it, you can win like 1 million MGP and buy like an uber rare mount and like a bunch of other stuff. But MGP basically is the currency in the casino, and you can get all kinds of stuff. But yeah, you can get a couple mounts, and you'll see it here in a second in the video. But there's a bunch of different like random gear you can get for glamming purposes mostly. Like you can get like weapons and like different swords and bows and all that sort of stuff. You can get crafting materials. You can get mounts, like I said before. You can get hairstyles, and there's a bunch of like little side games or whatnot in the casino. And so that's really fun, and you do like this random number generator thing, and you're trying to get as much as possible. So you can check all that out if you get the expansion. And there's also, there's this other game called Triple Triad. You'll see it in a second, and it's kind of like this, I guess, I don't really know how to describe it. It's not like any card game I've really played before. It's almost like you got to catch them all. Like, so when you do these primals and extremes and these dungeons, so like there's two new primals, and it's like Bismarck and Ravana, and you can get their card, and if the card drops, you can like equip it or whatever. Oops, my bad. You can equip it, and then it's in your deck, I guess. And so whenever you're playing other characters, you can bust out your Ravana card or your Fat Chocobo card, or you can bust out whatever. And so, but it's weird. Like you end up going after just trying to find the cards more than anything. But from what I hear, that it's actually a really fun game to play. And so like you have numbers on the side of your card, and you're trying to beat the other person's card number, and you end up playing this kind of like a chess game with other people trying. They can see a couple of your cards, but they don't really know what you have. Like you have hidden stuff like that. But that's all brand new, and I'm about to show it to you in a second. But yeah, there's just a ton to do in this expansion, and like I really don't know how to explain it to you any other way. Like if you were on the fence before, or you had quit the game, here it is. If you had quit the game before and thought, man, there's nothing to do, now there's just so much to do. Like it takes so long to level that you're constantly going to be finding something new to do, and you can kill the time in the casino, and there's all these new classes. And the only gripe that I have is, though, that like, yeah, I want to get my Dark Knight to 60, but I also want to play other classes. Like I want to play Bard, and I want to finish leveling my Scholar, and I want to finish leveling my White Mage, and all this other stuff. So I feel like it's a huge time sink, and I know that it's an MMO, so they do that on purpose. But at the same time, like, it's just such a good game. It's so endearing. Like, it has its negatives to it, but at the same time, like, it has a bunch of positives to it. And I'm sure in this video I missed a ton of stuff, and I went rambling on about other things too long. But there's new dungeons, there's new raids, there's new character classes, there's a new race, there's new mounts, there's a casino, 8 new areas, a whole lot of story from what I understand. Everyone says the story is just awesome. I'm not really into this game's story, which you can, blast me at me if you want to. But there's just so much for you to do. And if you're a fan of the game, I highly suggest you pick it up. But anyway, so come and check it out and let me know what you guys think. And also, you can see in just a second my FC and stuff. So, but anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Citizen out.